Yo, what's going
Yo,
on?
what's up, man? What's
What
going
up? What
on? You
up?
right?
Yep, you got it.
Word, it's a pleasure, man. So listen, are you out in Long Island?
Yeah, Long Island. I'm out Franklin Square.
Okay, word. So now with your boxing career and experiences, was it all Long Island? Was it in the city? Tell me a bit about your story.
I was all Long Island based.
Okay.
I started off very young. I know I look a little young, but I'm 40 now. So
Yeah, you look
um,
about like 29, 28, something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm 40 now. So my boxing career is over. But I started back in like the 90s. You know what I mean? Off that Roy Jones hype and that Floyd Mayweather Olympic hype.
Roy
So
Jones,
that's
man.
why
I
the
do.
Sweet Pea Whitaker type thing. So that's why I got my love for boxing out. You know, my stepdad, he used to always let me watch the fights back on when they used to come on free TV back in Channel 5 and
Yeah,
all that.
now we're kind of getting back to that, but for a while there, it wasn't happening, man.
Yeah, word.
All right, so you had a boxing an amateur career, right? Tell me a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
I had an amateur career. You know what I mean, when I joined boxing, I didn't really do it to fight. I did it because I grew up in like tough Long Island neighborhoods where, if you didn't know how to fight, you know, you would get picked on.
You
So
know, you,
I
you,
didn't
you
really
don't want
do
to
it
be that guy
for,
on the block, you know what I mean?
yeah, that
Not
got
taking my
pushed around.
sneakers, not getting my lunch money. I got you.
Yeah.
I
So
got
I
you.
lost my dad at an early age. So, what I mean, it was just me and my mom. Then I had my stepdad, but he really wasn't a fighter. So I walked myself down to the Brentwood Rec and then learned some skills from the Brentwood Rec. And then I started working with this guy named Tony Fortunato out here. And, rest was history. I had a few fights, but I really didn't get into it for that. I got into it because I wanted to learn how to fight and I wanted to transition to a coach. I knew I wasn't going to be a
Right.
fighter. I knew I wasn't going to be, a champion or try to, my aspiration wasn't to do that. My aspiration was more to be on the coaching side of things, being the guy outside the ring, being more of a teacher. Because I knew like fighting is one of the hardest things in the world, man. Like,
Yeah, it really is.
to be a fighter, I think it's the hardest job ever because you got to take it to win, to eat, to feed yourself. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's really is the loneliest sport. I remember, back in my amateur days, and my father was a pro, and then my uncle, my great uncle, ran a boxing gym over in the UK. So boxing was always in and out for me, and I ended up coming back to it when I was later, like after high school, and all my friends were partying, having a good time, and all that. And like on a Friday night, I'm like, I got sparring tomorrow at 8 o'clock, so I got to be at the crib.
Yeah.
So and your friends at that age, they don't really understand that, especially if they don't come from the fight world. And I
Yep.
agree with you. I fell in love with the lifestyle of a fighter, the discipline that it gave me, the self-confidence. But then
Yep.
when I was able to work with other people and impact them, I mean, that was the thing that went off for me personally. So
Yep.
I 100% connect with your message, man. All right,
Oh,
so now you've just been teaching and coaching boxing
yeah.
from then?
Yeah, it actually carried me pretty far because now, like, I'm working with pros or MMA fighters. I'm working with amateur boxers. Like, I had a kid that, his parents wanted me to help him out on his defense because they were scared of him getting hit too much. And then before the pandemic hit, he had a fight, and he actually stopped the kid
Where
that he fought. Yeah,
that feels good
so
as a coach, right? That feels
yeah,
good.
yeah, I felt really good because his
Man, keep it
parents was there.
simple.
They giving me hugs, and that he didn't get hurt. And that was his mom. She was worried about him getting hurt. So that's the aspect that I want to start to grow because I was listening
Right,
to the first gentleman and talking about his concussions. And
right.
then shout out to all the fighters that's been on this cast because I know how hard it is, and that's why I don't take the glory because it's the guy that's in there that's taking the punches.
Word.
So I speak to I salute all of them because why I got into this because I started realizing it's more of the conditioning, right? The concussions keep happening because the conditioning is so heavy with boxing. So
Yep.
you don't even realize how many shots you're taking or how you're breaking yourself down when you take those shots that a concussion just comes because your body's so stressed and fatigued. So I got into the strength and conditioning part of it too, where it's proper strength and conditioning rather than the old school work like we used to do, bag for 3 rounds, speed bag for 3 rounds, go spar, and the next day 3 days of sparring. you know
Yeah,
it
I mean
was,
that it's like that Rocky Four mentality of training, right?
yeah,
Like, gun ho, balls to the wall, everything you got, every single minute, every single rep, and that's just not realistic.
yeah, Yep.
Your body
So
just
that's
can't
why.
take that.
No, definitely. So that's why I got into this field, because I used to be a strength and conditioning coach at gyms, and I started my own studio, Unique Playground, and it helps out people with injuries. And I started off as just a boxing coach, and then it transitioned to now that's just one of my skills. But now I help injuries. I help,
Right.
people who have.
That's just one of your modalities that you offer as a coach, whether it's through functional movement,
Absolutely.
sport-specific movement. Yeah, man, it's a super
Yeah.
dope. So with all your knowledge and your experience, and you've been around the game and the block, let's bring it to Saturday night. You know what it is. I think,
Yep.
We heard Shorty on the last one. She got Cruz winning. Talk to me. Break down the fight. What do you see in both fighters? What do you like?
All right. So this is what I see. I'm going with Tank, no doubt.
Okay,
I'm going with Tank, no doubt, because
no problems with no problems with that.
I think Tank brings that gorilla. That there's something that you can't teach in a man. Like, all boxers have the animal, but then there's something that takes you to the next level where it's like, yo, you got to put me out on the stretcher. Right. I think Tank brings that. And I think Tank, he's one of those fighters that he has to get up for the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to get up for this guy. Like Pedraza. You saw when he fought Pedraza started, coming back, and then Tank, it brought the best out of Tank. You know what I mean? I love Coach Calvin, but I'm a little bit, I think Kevin Cunningham was a better coach for Tank Davis. I think he was much sharper. When he fought Cuellar, he was much, much sharper when he fought Cuellar. I'm talking about with the reflexes, stepping in and out, quick response, quick action back with the combinations. Only thing, like Shorty said, I forgot her name, forgive me. Shamar, where she said, he doesn't use his jab a lot, and as a little guy, he's going to have to effectively use that double jab to get inside on.
Right, but the guy was longer.
Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is very heavy on the front foot, so if
you can counter guys that stay on that front foot.
Yep, he's very heavy on that front foot. So if Tank decides to attack him from the angles instead of just coming straight forward for him and trying and work the body, I think he can get Santa Cruz out of there, because I don't think Santa Cruz has the power to get Tank out of there unless Tank is drained. Yeah. Santa Cruz is more of a decision guy. Yeah. I thought he showed me a little difference with Frampton when Frampton was, the second fight when he started boxing Frampton and countering the counter. Right? Carl Frampton, yep. He showed me a little different element in him, but I still think with Tank, is that I don't like that strategy of trying to gas the guy out. You know what I mean? I don't like that strategy.
Which I think Lomachenko kind of took that route a little bit too. And I think a lot of guys, when you go into with a guy who's bigger than you, their mentality is like, let's tire this guy out so we take a little bit of his power away, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what I want to say to Shamar. That fight didn't change until that headbutt happened. That headbutt, that fight changed when that headbutt happened. I think from him not experiencing that, he rushed back to come into that fight a little bit quicker, and he was still dazed from it. Yes, I'll give Lomachenko the 8 and 9 rounds, but you didn't see the Lomachenko that you saw with him, yes, from the rust, but he didn't give him those angles that people don't understand. People, you gotta, if you watch, when Lomachenko was trying to go for those angles, he did an old school trick, Lopez. He shot to the body, right? When a person is trying to give you angles, you shoot to the body. You don't shoot for the head. Right. Also, another thing you don't do, you don't chase them. You step back into the space that they leave. Right. So that's why I was really impressed with Lopez, because he showed me a lot with boxing IQ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he won that fight with his feet.
Yes. He won it with his IQ.
Lomachenko likes to step on the outside and have you commit.
Yep.
And then he'll pivot. And then Lopez was pivoting with him.
Yep.
And then he was keeping that he was keeping him, like with southpaws, obviously, they'll have that foot on the outside.
Yep.
How he kept them from using the angles was the jab.
Yep, keep them to the angle. Yep, and a lot of people don't know you can fight southpaws from the inside. Yep. It's the angle that you have to take on them where you square them up. Right. If you could time it right, once they step to that outside, if you shoot your jab, they're right there for you to hit.
Right. Or if they're on the inside and they're out beating you with a jab, you can counter with that right hand down the middle
Around the middle
day
all day.
long,
Yep.
right?
And
So,
they fall asleep with the left hook too.
yep, yep. So it's, you know, that's really interesting that you brought up the stances, because that was one point that I wanted to bring up, but you broke it down lovely. I will say this, that if when it comes to Tank, because I do think that Tank is going to win. I do think it's going to be, I think it's either going to be by split decision, because Tank's going to hurt him, and that's how, when it comes to the scorecards, that's going to be the difference, or it's going to be a stoppage. I think that if Tank can, I don't want to say pace himself, because, you know, he typically gets tired, but if Tank can be more strategic with his shots, pick, you know, get some levels head to body, take away some of the volume punching by doing that, because now you got him thinking, then I think Tank can get him out of there by like maybe the 9th round. I think he has the power. I don't think that Santa Cruz has the power to, and I think this might be actually, it might be an advantage or disadvantage, but when Tank doesn't feel your power, he kind of tries to walk you down. Correct. Now, with somebody experienced like Santa Cruz, can he take advantage of that? Maybe he can. I see it being too much over time, and then Tank end up winning, wearing him down.
See, the whole fight is, can Santa Cruz fight off the back foot?
Right.
We never seen that. We always see him coming forward. We never seen Frampton. We seen it a little bit when he was countering over the top, but we never seen him really fight off that back foot from pressure. Shoot that jab, turn the angles, step around the corner, you know, and then keep that jab constantly pumping. He likes to get there and trade. He kind of reminds me of kind of like a Margarito, a lighter Margarito.
Really does. But, you know, listen, and you know this, right? Like, like Mexican fighters, they have a style.
Yep.
They got a style, right? And they're going to bang. They're going to come forward. They're going to punch in volume. Now, one of the things about Canelo, which makes him so amazing, is that he actually took Mayweather's defense, and now he fights more like a Spanish black dude from the northeast, you know, corner of the United States, right?
He's really good, man. I'm telling you, like, I see, like, just the fact, like, his feints now, like, he'll feint to the body, come upstairs. You know, he understood that Mayweather fight taught him so much.
Yeah, but he was a traditional Mexican fighter before that fight. He showed that he can box. He showed that he has some defense. Yeah. But that's when he realized, oh, this is the next step.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. The reason why I'm bringing up that point is because there's a blueprint for that type of fighter who is he's tough as nail, got a dog in him. He's gonna come forward though. Yeah. He's gonna throw a lot of punches. So, you know, styles make fights, and that's probably part of the reason why this fight is being made. So, okay, so I think we both have Tank. I said I'm gonna go with a stoppage before the 9th, and give me your outcome.
I think Tank in 6. I'm going with Tank in 6. I think the fight. Right, I think Tank in 6.
Now, if you're a betting man, you still gonna go with that same prediction?
If I was a betting man, I'll go with Tank in 6.
Okay, so that means you are.
Because I just feel Tank. I think the game plan. I think that Mayweather has shown him, because Mayweather's been working with him a lot for this fight, and I think Mayweather. And I usually don't pick fights before the weigh-in, because the weigh-in tells it all. Because now if Tank comes in drained and he looks like crap, and he gains like 15 pounds the night of the fight, we know that it was too hard for him. But if he comes in, he's in tip-top shape, and he has energy, he doesn't look like he's about to die on the scale, then I'm going with Tank in 4. Because Santa Cruz is going to be there to hit. He's going to be there to hit.
Yeah, but look, just like Lopez showed up with a different game plan, I think Santa Cruz, I think he might show up with a different game plan too. Because look, he certainly has the intelligence. He certainly does have the skill, but can he get out of his own way in the sense of being programmed to fight a certain way? Meaning, I'm going to go out on the shield. I'm going to go out on my back. If he can remove himself from that and just focus on the W, he might be able to do it.
So how would you? So now we know how you fight a fighter like that. How would you fight a Tank now? Because Tank has shown different styles in the ring. He's shown that he can.
If it's me and I'm preparing my fighter, I'm going to tell my fighter to be patient. I'm going to tell him to out jab. Definitely out jab Tank, especially if you have length. Make him work for anything he comes in on the inside.
Yeah.
And then when he does come in on the inside, clinch.
Yep.
Let the ref do his job. Restart from the outside.
Yeah.
Keep your real estate. You know, worry about the win. Don't worry about being impressive. Worry about the win. Take care of you, and then the fight will come to you. That's what I'm telling my guy.
Yep.
Because Tank is that dangerous.
Yep. And that's what I say. We see Santa Cruz go out on his shield first, throwing punches rather than clinch. That's what's going to make that fight interesting. That beats a lot of fighters not knowing how to clinch.
You get like what Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder with the clinching,
correct,
and the hitting, and the holding, laying on him.
Yep.
People look at that and they don't understand what that is. Bernard Hopkins was amazing at it. James Toney. Like it's a part of the fight game, but it's not taught that much.
Nope.
And especially like you said, with those type of fighters, they don't want to clinch. They want to let them hands go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They want to let them hands go. That's why when you see a lot of those fighters fight Mayweather, when they want to complain. But it's just those little subtle things. Now I broke up the rhythm. Now you got to start back.
Yeah.
Those little things, man, and people, the average fight fan doesn't see that and they don't like that. But that's a part of the game. Boxing is boxing because of your feet, not because of your hands.
Hands, correct. Yep. That's my number one.
If you take it with the feet, then it's striking.
Yep. Correct.
And if you go to MMA gym and MMA gym, they don't teach boxing the way we teach it.
Nope.
Right? So it's different. There's a difference between striking and boxing. All right, so we both have Tank win this fight.
Got it.
To finish off the night, who would you like to see Tank fight if he wins this fight?
I would like to see Tank fight Loma.
Lomachenko?
Yeah, I would like to see Tank fight Loma. I think that would be a good redemption fight for Loma.
It would.
Right? And then that will give Lopez a choice to fight either Devin Haney or the winner of that fight. Right? I think now in boxing, it's like Mayweather said, there's too many belts and there's too many guys trying to fight this guy and trying to fight this guy. Yo, just beat the guy that's in front of that guy and give the guy no choice. Now you can say, yo, you're ducking me. Because I beat Haney, I beat Lopez, I beat this guy. So I think Lopez should take Haney on next. I think Loma should fight the winner of this fight. And, leave no doubt.
Right. I mean, I think that that Lomachenko, that was what the people were talking about, was Lomachenko versus Tank before he took the L with Lopez. So I would certainly like to see that. But I also would like to see Lopez versus Tank because their styles do have some similarities. And I think that, styles make fights. And I really would like to see that collision. Will it happen? I don't know. We're going to have to see. But that's what I would like to see.
I think Lopez beats Tank, though.
You think? If he cannot be worried about being impressive, like when he fought, there's a couple fights where you can tell he's trying to push for the knockout. I think that he has all the tools, obviously, to beat Lopez. And I always say the guy who's bigger, taller, faster, stronger, he's always going to have the advantage. And in that fight, Lopez is that.
And it's just, I think sometime in your career, like you have your amateur coach. Like that's why I say I love Coach Calvin, but you get complacent. You start dictating the camp.
Right.
When I seen with Kevin Cunningham and Tank, I saw the trainer dictating what to do to the fighter.
That's always how you can tell there's a good relationship between a coach and a fighter. The fighter has to trust the coach enough to believe whatever he's telling him, then that's what I'm going to go out and do because he's my third eye. If you don't have that relationship, that trust, that partnership is just not going to, work.
And I saw that with Kevin Cunningham. If you watch that Cuellar fight, Cuellar wasn't like a sloppy fighter. He just, he was just in a championship fight against Mares. Remember, he's still out there. So, and when Cuellar fought Mares, he was no slouch, but Tank ran right through him, and that was because I think the trainer Kevin Cunningham utilized Tank's skills more. I think Coach Calvin is more of a Tank go straight and forth Tyson type of style, whereas Cunningham was use your boxing and then take this guy out of there. So
yeah, those are all great points, and I think that people don't know enough about coaching in boxing. Like for example, if you watch football, Bill Belichick's a great coach. Nick Saban's a great coach, right? In boxing, it ain't that way. You know what I mean? So look, my dude, I really appreciate you jumping on here. You got some really good insight. We're gonna have you back on because you was really kicking some game, dropping some jewels. Again, I really appreciate you, Jay.
Yo, shout out to Designated Report. It's the only sports show I'll be watching now on my Instagram now.
There we
Only thing that I follow.
go.
You guys are the best, man. Yo, I love all you guys, man. Y'all cover
Yo, spread
everything,
that
no
energy, my
bias.
brother. Much love,
Yep.
and I'm gonna catch you next time.
You got it.
Peace.
Peace, man.
No doubt. All right, so that is Designated Reports, Boxing Night Out, episode 2 in that series. We apologize for the hiccups, but we still roll with the punches. Appreciate everybody coming through. We're going to put this up on YouTube, make some clips, put it on the gram, give everybody a follow that was on, and thanks for everybody tuning in.